Okay, so sorry, Mom. So I'm here with my mother. I just thought I'd interview her on her point of view on Chile. She's been here for about 13 or 14 years, and she used to work for a mine. And what do you think? Do you think it's worth? What are the positive things about moving to Chile? That's a good one. Positive things about
Positive
moving.
things about moving to Chile. Well, first of all, I lived in Maine before. I was a teacher in Maine. And if I had had to go back to Maine now on my retirement, I would have been on the street starving.
Yep.
I would have had no medical insurance,
Yep.
which would have been desperate because I have a really serious spine problem.
Yep.
And I had to have an operation here this past year.
Yep.
So here we can get FONASA, which is a national health service,
Yep.
and it covers all the basics. Didn't cover my operation because my operation was different. It was not. It wasn't. It was an extraordinary thing. It wasn't just something normal. I think it's a huge benefit to have the FONASA, which is the name of the health service. I think it's a huge benefit where we live that we can buy mountains of fresh vegetables very, very cheaply.
Yeah.
We can live. I know now I am living much more healthily than I ever did in North America, in Maine, of course, where the fresh vegetables are not so forthcoming. Here we live in a bread basket. I make my own bread, by the way, because we live about 15 miles out of town, and I don't like to drive into town every day. That's one of the disadvantages. The gas here is probably 3 times the price.
Well, maybe not anymore. It's very expensive now in the States too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
When I left the States, I could buy gas for $1.20 a gallon.
Yeah, now it's like $4 a gallon, so it's about the same price as it is here.
Well, but we're paying what, $749 a liter?
Yeah. Well,
4
yeah.
liters in a gallon. Okay, about the same price as North America.
Okay.
Excuse me, I've got stuff boiling.
Okay, we'll pause for a second. Yeah. Yeah. So, what would you think? There's a few people that are interested. Maybe a lot of people want to relocate or move to another country. It's obviously a challenge. When we were lucky, you were working here already. What are the biggest challenges you think about moving to another country? Is it just about moving to Chile? Is it just money, or
No.
what else? What else is the problems?
No, the money is not such a challenge. I think if you have any kind of income stream.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm living I'm living comfortably at the moment on $1,700 a month.
Okay.
Now, I couldn't have done that in Maine.
Yeah.
In Maine, I would have been paying $500 for my heating bill, minimum.
And your property
Probably more
tax
than
and
that, probably double that.
what's your property tax here in this house?
In this house with 4 acres, well, wait a minute, I've got to work it out. I pay 40 is 32, 32,000.
Okay.
600 a year.
600
1,000 a year.
$1,000 a year?
$2,000 a year.
You pay $2,000 a year for property tax?
Oh, you'd have to give me a chance. I can't
Okay.
think of it.
Okay. No, I'm surprised.
4,000. No, I don't.
Yeah, it's much cheaper.
174.
Just do it in doing pesos. I'll translate it.
I pay $680 a year, roughly. Give or
Okay,
take,
$680
on
a year
tax.
on property
And
tax
that's for about 4 acres.
for about 4 acres. Okay, that's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's a huge advantage. I was paying 5 times that in Maine, 6 times that in Maine.
Okay.
What were we talking about? The money stream.
Oh yeah, money streams like
Well,
coming to Chile. You need to have money.
You need to have money. Everything is certainly going up in price here now.
Yeah.
Although I do a lot of kind of bartering.
Yeah.
I love to bake and make things and make jams, and I can barter a cake for 5 liters of milk, fresh from the cow, no antibiotics, no nothing.
Do you think? Do you think it's how important is it to speak Spanish?
It's very important.
But you can
Well,
get.
it is for me. I live here alone.
Yeah.
If I didn't speak Spanish, I would be in a solitary situation.
Yeah.
I had to learn to speak Spanish. I don't speak good Spanish, but people are very nice about the Spanish.
Yeah.
You don't have to speak. They're very nice if they think you're making an effort.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, you speak very fluent Spanish.
I'm not bad. Yeah.
I think you're very good. I had the disadvantage of spending 8 or 9, 10 of my years here speaking only English, because I worked for an American company in the north of Chile.
Yep.
So I never learned Spanish. I was lazy. I was also very busy. I just didn't have the time.
Yep.
Now, in the last 2 years since I've retired, I have had to learn Spanish pronto.
No, you're getting better.
And I'm getting better. I'm getting better. You see, my problem is I speak enough Spanish to get what I want and to be friendly.
Yeah.
So I am not into learning all the niceties of the language.
Sure. Okay.
Spanish is a challenge.
Yeah.
The culture is different.
Yeah.
You're going to find it. Going to the bank is a nightmare. You always have to stand in lines.
Yeah.
Chile is the land where people stand in lines for every service.
If you choose to, I know what I do is to get past that. The only thing,
Yeah.
the way I get around it is true about the lines. The one way around it is to get there early. So I always go to the bank. I go to the bank at 9 a.m. and there's nobody there.
Yeah,
right.
Or if you want to, they've also got lots of rules that we are not used to.
Yeah.
Everything is a paper trail. You can't, for instance, go into a shop and buy something and pay for it. You go into the shop, you buy something, and then you've got to go to another part of the shop to pay for it and have it wrapped. You never get anything in your hands.
Yep.
There's a real phobia about thieving, which is not surprising because there's a lot of thieving goes on.
Yep.
If you want a really cheap place to live, I don't think Chile is all that cheap. To really get down to rock bottom, you would think of Ecuador or Peru or Bolivia.
Yeah.
They are magnificent countries. The people are wonderful, and
How-
they're very, very cheap. But they are not stable.
Yeah.
I don't think they're socially as stable as Chile.
Yeah.
And I like Chile because it's very European.
Yeah.
It's much more European than American.
Yeah.
The scenery is magnificent.
Yeah.
The food leaves a lot to be desired, but you're going to make your own food anyway. Oh, one huge advantage. Am I going to advantages?
Sure.
I can actually afford to have someone help me in the house on $1,700 a month.
Yeah.
Could I ever afford that in America?
Never.
Never in a
Plus
million
you have a
years.
guy working here 7 days a week, 5 days a week,
5 days a week.
and he lives up in the house here.
I have a little extra cabina.
And he snoozes in there, and he's here 24/7 during the week. Yep.
Yeah, which I need because I'm kind of incapacitated
With your spine.
My spine.
Yep.
I hate that, but I am.
Yep.
But so that's good things and bad things. Another bad thing. Can't think of bad things.
Okay.
Oh, well,
Okay.
we get a lot of earthquakes.
The earthquakes.
We do get earthquakes. You've got to. We had a very strong one a few months ago.
Yeah.
Or was it last year?
Well, last year. Yeah, my theory about the earthquakes is always rent or buy a 1-floor home.
Oh yes.
You'd never want to be on the 10th floor.
Yeah.
I mean, you can.
At one point, I was on the 9th floor of a big department.
No, when you're on the 9th floor, that you got a lot of tremors then too. But how was the construction of the building?
It was, in fact, it was very modernly constructed with all kinds of balancing things down in the basement.
Yeah.
It was built as it was supposed to be earthquake proof.
Yeah.
But it still rocked, and I was still terrified.
Yeah. Okay.
But now that I'm on the ground floor, I just fall out my bedroom window. I open the doors and roll out into the garden with all my dogs.
Yeah.
If you like animals, it's another huge disadvantage here. There are a lot of starving animals in the streets.
Yep.
You won't like it. I hated it. With the result that I've now got about 20 dogs, but I've got plenty of room for them. And I've rescued them all as poor, pathetic, starving creatures. And now they're fat and happy.
Yeah. You're actually feeding the dogs now. That big pot's the dog food, right?
Oh, this big pot's the dog food.
Right.
Yeah, but I buy, here it's possible to buy scraps, very good dog scraps. Could never do that in North America. I always had to buy tins.
Yeah.
Here I have all kinds of, I go to all the butchers and they save up end trimmings for me and I make it into food for all the dogs and they're very happy with it.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. You also just, you bought a big 100-weight of spaghetti too. That was like $20. And it was like 50 pounds of spaghetti, which is like, it's old, or it's like old spaghetti, which you can use to feed animals. So, which is what you're doing.
Oh, and the other good thing is, of course, I've got my chickens.
Yeah.
And I'm planning to have a cow. I've learned how to milk.
Yeah.
I've also gone to classes for beekeeping.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get some hives.
Yeah.
It's too cold just now. It's the winter.
Yeah.
Now, don't have central heating,
Yep.
but I've got a wood stove here and a wood stove in my living room, and I don't need any more.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not the same as Maine where we had to have heat.
Yep.
Here I can actually survive without a wood stove if I just stick on an extra pullover.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What else now? Oh, what we're really wanting to plan here. I've got two sons, Scott one and Richie's the other son. What we'd really like to try and figure out is how to get some solar panels in.
Yeah, yeah.
And Scott's got all kinds of great ideas for solar ovens,
Yep.
which I would love to have.
Yep.
Because I think when things go bad in America, they're going to go bad very badly, and everyone is going to be affected everywhere.
Yep. Okay, this is the video's about to stop here, so I'm just going to
Okay.
stop it. I think I'm just running out of disk space. Okay, hold on a second.
Okay,
I'll
that's
stop.
it.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me just see what happens.